Hey, it's Joanna Hunter here, and I'm joined by my beautiful client, Alyssa. Alyssa, come and introduce yourself and tell people what it is that you do in the world.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I am a feng shui consultant and tarot card reader and soul coach. So that's what I am doing in the world. And I live in Wisconsin. It's north of Chicago. Everybody knows where Chicago is.
I love that. Tell us a little bit about your journey with LightWeb. How did you first get called to the course, or how did you first decide this is for you?
Well, somebody introduced me to your millionaire experiment, and I think I signed up like December 30th of 2020. And so I was introduced to you and your energy and was completely smitten. I've been in the woo-woo world for a long time. I've known a lot of this stuff, but when I found you and your courses, you started to solidify it. All just started to really gel and make even more sense. And the way you described everything just was like, oh yeah, this is totally it. So it just really resonated. So, and then I joined your LightWeb March 2021 after you did your shadow web masterclass, which blew me away. It was so perfect that I needed to take the LightWeb course, so I did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us what you first experienced with that LightWeb activation. So you've now felt called to this course. You went through the shadow web. You were like, oh wow, I need this. You get into our LightWeb course. I think nobody really knows what to expect in their first activation. So talk us a little bit through that. What were you feeling when you were going through that?
It was a while ago, but what I will say about LightWeb is that when you take us through the activation and we find our node that we get to reside upon within the universe, it's just a beautiful thing. And it's something that I'm easily able to I ground and then I jump there, and then I am able to really connect better with my higher self. I have it decorated, very bohemian and and so I imagine myself sitting on like these big pillows, colorful pillows, and then I do my meditations there now. So it's just, that was an amazing thing to be able to have a space when I'm trying to ground and I'm trying to, connect with source. It's just the space I know I can go to, and I love it.
Amazing. Tell us a little bit about, because some people describe the LightWeb activation as like a before and after experience. Was that your experience of LightWeb, or what was your experience like?
I can't say that at the time it was that, but like now looking back at my journey, I mean, that was my first real course with you, and then having taken Unity and Divine Planners. I would say that it was life-changing for me because I was fully introduced to your world and how that works. And I refer back to it, but now I've taken 3 courses. I'm not sure which course I'm referring back to sometimes, but I will say that it was this launch pad to becoming more intuitive, into becoming more in tune with myself, and allowing myself more and more to feel my emotions, to become more empowered, to look at my triggers as being an agent of the universe, of some sort of guidance from the universe. And the biggest thing too is just the whole taking radical personal responsibility for myself. I did look at my notes, so I had to look that because I was like, what now, which course was this? But I loved it. And then when I was reading back through my notes, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, all this stuff. And it has really shaped what I do in my life. Last year after that, I felt I let myself feel, I let myself, have emotions, I let myself, but then I also looked at all of it as serving me, as empowering me, and it gave me a lot of freedom to not be reliant on external sources for my power.
Amazing, amazing. That's beautiful. If so you've talked a little bit about your intuition kind of improving, and obviously for you, you've found that the whole journey has been very empowering. You have done Unity with us as well, and you have done Divine Planning Abundant Profits with us as well. Tell us a little bit about being in LightWeb. What some of the favorite bits? Do you come on all the activations, or
I don't always come on the activations. If it works into my schedule, I jump on to the extras because I love to be in that energy. But I found that just having had it has changed my life. But I do know that it's there for me. Like the course is there. It's lifetime. I can refer back to it. I can look at my notes, my printouts, and it's just very comforting to know. And also just the fact that you offer it and you continue to offer it, and you are so supportive, and that group is supportive, the Facebook group, and it's just been like a kind of a lifeline having that access.
Oh, I love that. If one of my biggest problems with LightWeb, as you know, is trying to describe to a non-LightWeb activated person what LightWeb is going to maybe do for you, or how it's going to help you in your day-to-day life and stuff like that. If somebody was listening to this, Alyssa, and they were like thinking, I'm feeling drawn to the program, but like, I don't know, like I'm on the fence. What would you say to someone that is sat on the fence, but they're feeling drawn to it?
I would say if you're feeling drawn to it, that means you should do it. Absolutely. But to get them over the fence, it really depends what their motivations are. I found that it helped me even more understand the origin of source energy of our energetic life, and it allowed me to really sink in, because the course seems like, a lot of the things I knew, but a lot of the things were new to me, and then it just kind of gelled together really well. So it allows me to walk forward in my life as a more fully empowered person. And I can't even, you're right, it's very difficult to describe, but I just can't say enough about how it's changed how I approach life, how I look at situations, and how I want to live.
Amazing. I love that. I know it's so funny because like when we ask people about LightWeb, we're like, it changed my life. It's amazing, it's fabulous, like I love it. But that kind of tells someone nothing at the same time. But it's so hard to describe because it is such a before and after event. Like you have this life before LightWeb, and then you get LightWeb and you go through the framework, and then suddenly you just see everything differently, and it's just so hard to describe that what actually fundamentally changes, because it's kind of literally everything changes. But it's such a hard thing, isn't it, to kind of try to put that into words without going, it's life-changing.
It is hard to say, but I think it really got me, it really inspired, well, not inspired, but just the word would be, it allowed me to see myself for what I really am in the world, and not who I thought I was. It allowed me to kind of exit the matrix a little bit and see it from a grander perspective, and to understand how I work and how my individualness is important, but how it also relates to the grand scheme of things. It also really allowed me to get more in touch with my intuition, and which of course is part of Source. So that helped, and it explained it all so well. And then there are all the tools, the LightWeb tools. I can't even say I use them all very often because I sometimes forget about them, but they're there. And when I do use them, I'm like, oh, yes, this is right. So it's wonderful to have all of those things at my disposal. And when I need them, I can go back to them, and it's just there. But you're right. It's more of just this feeling, or I'm just different. so it's great.
I know, and you know, this has been the craziness and letting people know about LightWeb, because it's like there's only so much you can say, like it's life-changing, and like and when people go, well, how? But like you just go like, it's just everything. And it's so funny because that's our real struggle, and but it is such a powerful, amazing course in that it really does elevate your consciousness. And I love how you talked about seeing things from a higher perspective, because I think that's, you know, what it is. And it's seeing things from that higher perspective just helps us to navigate our challenges a lot easier.
It is. Yeah, because we're so mired down in our human experience, which is so important, but it also allows you to see that bigger picture, so that you realize your human experience is just part of this, and it's almost like it's a game, right? And when I look at my life as being a game, that means like it's not, there's no right or wrong. It's just I'm experiencing it and I'm playing the game, and I can keep, you know, I can play it and have fun, or I can play it and be really sad and miserable, but I choose to have fun. So as much as I can.
Amazing. I love that. That's a really beautiful description. And I think you're right. So many people get really mired down and bogged down into like the nitty-gritty day-to-day grind of life and things. And we miss the experience, you know, and being able to float right above that. I mean, that for me has been a huge experience with LightWeb, with my own personal activation, is being able to float above that and see that from a higher perspective, because for me that's been game changing, and not get sucked into that nitty-gritty part of it so much.
Because the drama can really, you know, suck you in. And I find that, you know, our society is really victim oriented. You know, there's always wanting to blame somebody else for everything, and of course, things happen to you, but how you react to them and how you use that experience in your life is empowering as hell. And so, you know, it's just, it just allows you to understand that things are happening to you, but it's not what's happening, it's how you're responding and how you're moving through that and how you're growing through that. It's so empowering. That's like the most important thing I can say about it. It gave me a lot of more control over my life.
I love that. I love that. Alyssa, thank you so much for coming to speak to us about LightWeb. Can you tell people where they can find you on the interwebs? So where can they see you or find you? Have you got a website or anything that you want to share?
I do have a website. It's soulsistercoach.com. And I have a group too, and it's Facebook groups, Soul Sister Coach. No, I'm sorry, that one's Soul Sister Secrets. So you can find me at Soul Sister Secrets. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for coming to speak.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Good to see you.